Imagine a shepherd standing on a hillside as the sun begins to disappear. Around him are his sheep, 99 of them. They are together. They are safe. They are within his sight. But something is wrong. He counts them. 1, 2, 3. He keeps counting until he reaches 99. He stops. He counts again. 99. There should be 100. One sheep is missing. For someone watching from a distance, this might not seem like a big problem. After all, 99 sheep are still there. 99 are safe. 99 are accounted for. Why risk everything for just one? Why leave the 99 behind? Why walk into the darkness? But the shepherd doesn't think that way. To him, the missing sheep isn't a number. It's his sheep. And so he begins to search. The lost sheep doesn't know how to find its way home. Perhaps it wandered away while looking for grass. Perhaps it followed another path. Perhaps it became distracted and slowly moved farther and farther from the flock. At first, the distance may have seemed small, just a few steps, then a few more, and eventually, the sheep looked around and realized it was alone. This is how being lost often happens, not always through one huge decision. Sometimes it happens slowly. One step, one mistake, one distraction, one wrong direction, until suddenly you're somewhere you never intended to be, and now the sheep is alone. The familiar sounds of the flock are gone. The shepherd's voice is distant. The hills are becoming dark, and danger is everywhere. But somewhere behind those hills, the shepherd is searching. He doesn't simply stand there and call once. He searches. He looks across the hills. He checks the valleys. He looks among the rocks. He follows paths where the sheep might have wandered. The night grows darker, but he keeps going, because the shepherd knows something the lost sheep doesn't. The sheep is worth finding. The shepherd isn't thinking, I still have 99. He's thinking, one of mine is missing. Imagine the shepherd climbing over rocks. His clothes become dirty. His feet become tired. The wind becomes colder. The darkness becomes deeper. But he doesn't stop. He keeps calling. Where are you?
Where are you?
No answer. He calls again. Nothing.
Come back to me!
He continues searching. And then, somewhere in the distance, he hears something. A faint sound. A cry. The shepherd stops. He listens. There it is again. The lost sheep. It is trapped. Perhaps caught between rocks. Perhaps exhausted from wandering. Perhaps frightened by the darkness. It can no longer get itself back. But the shepherd has found it. And now comes one of the most beautiful moments in the story. The shepherd doesn't look at the sheep and say, "You foolish animal, you should have stayed with the others." He doesn't punish it. He doesn't walk away. He doesn't say, "You made your choice. Now deal with the consequences." Instead, he goes to it. He rescues it. And when he finds it, he places the sheep on his shoulders. The sheep doesn't have to carry itself home. The shepherd carries it, step by step, through the darkness, back toward safety, back toward the flock, back home. And when the shepherd finally returns, he is not angry. He is joyful.
Thank God.
Jesus says that the shepherd rejoices over the sheep more than over the 99 that never wandered away.
You are safe.
Think about that. The shepherd's joy isn't because he hates the 99. It's because something that was lost has been found. Something that was separated has been brought home. Something that was in danger is safe again. Jesus then explains why he told this story. The story isn't really about sheep. It's about people. People who wander. People who become lost. People who feel far away from God. People who think they've gone too far. People who believe they are no longer worth searching for. And Jesus is saying, God sees the one. When everyone else sees a crowd, God sees individuals. When everyone else says, there are plenty of others, God says, that one matters. When someone feels forgotten, God hasn't forgotten them. When someone feels lost, God is still able to find them. And perhaps that's why this story has survived for thousands of years, because almost everyone knows what it feels like to be lost. You can be surrounded by people and still feel alone. You can look successful on the outside and still feel empty inside. You can smile in front of everyone while secretly wondering whether anyone would come looking if you disappeared. The lost sheep represents that feeling, the feeling of being far away, far from home, far from peace, far from God. And the message of Jesus is not, find your way back perfectly. The message is, you are worth being found. There is another powerful detail. The shepherd doesn't wait for the sheep to become strong enough to return. He goes looking for it. That changes the entire story, because sometimes people believe they have to fix themselves before they can come back to God. First, I need to become better. First, I need to stop making mistakes. First, I need to become worthy. But the shepherd in Jesus' story goes into the wilderness while the sheep is still lost. The rescue begins before the sheep can rescue itself. And when the shepherd finds the sheep, he carries it, not drags it, not kicks it, not abandons it, carries it. That image tells us something profound about grace. Sometimes you don't have the strength to walk home. Sometimes you've wandered so far that you don't know which direction to take. Sometimes you're exhausted. Sometimes you're ashamed. Sometimes you have nothing left. And the answer isn't always, try harder. Sometimes the answer is, let yourself be carried. Now imagine the shepherd walking back. The lost sheep is resting across his shoulders. The moon is above him. The hills are behind him. And with every step, the distance between the sheep and home becomes smaller. The sheep doesn't know exactly how it will get back. But it doesn't have to. The shepherd knows the way. And that may be the most comforting part of the entire story. The sheep doesn't need to know the way home when the shepherd is carrying it. Eventually, the shepherd reaches the flock. The 99 are there. And now the one is there too. 100. Complete again. The shepherd's search is over. The lost has been found. And Jesus says that heaven rejoices when one sinner turns back to God. One person, one life, one soul, one lost sheep, one matters. So if you're watching this and you feel like the lost sheep, remember the story. Maybe you wandered. Maybe you made choices you regret. Maybe you walked away from God. Maybe you don't even know exactly when you became distant. But distance doesn't mean you've been forgotten. Your mistakes don't make you worthless. Your wandering doesn't make you invisible. And being lost doesn't mean you cannot be found. The shepherd is still searching, still calling, still reaching, still looking for the one. Because to God, you were never just one among many. You mattered enough to be searched for. You mattered enough to be rescued. And you matter enough to be brought home. That is the message of the lost sheep. 99